these trainings on a website, so if people don't have a chance to attend the live seminar we're offering, you can certainly go watch the recordings later of tools that you would like to learn. All right, so everyone let me know if you either don't see something or don't hear something through the whole presentation. I'm Rachel Tonucci, librarian at Conard High School.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Jessie Li. I'm the Mandarin teacher at Hall High.
And we actually both learned this from Monica, her and teacher librarian at Hall High School. So she's also an expert in this, as are your library media specialists you can always go to for help. As always, these tools have a lot of different support. So they, right in the Padlet support link down there, you can get little short videos on pretty much anything else you'd like to learn. So let's get started looking at Padlet. It's, as we discussed, free. And there is a pro version, but we're going to show you today what you can do with the free version, and you'll just sign in with your account. So let's take a look at that.
Head over to Padlet.com and create a free account with your email address. Once you have signed up, create your first Padlet. The step is to select a format. I'll select wall, which packs content in a brick-like layout. Now it's time to customize your wall. Students don't need to create an account. They can use this code for access and you can personalize it. So this one, we will change it to library. And now I'm going to change the title to reading recommendations. Now that the Padlet is ready, let's add post. Begin by tapping the plus icon and type in the box. You can add photos and many other elements to a post. For this one, I'm just going to use Google search to display the book cover. Now that you have a Padlet with a post, you're ready to share with your learners. Share the link or code with your students. This is how they will access Padlet and start adding content to your wall. For more instructions and tips on how to use Padlet, visit the links in the description below.
So it's pretty easy to get started. And then while we're doing this training as well, if you'd like to just open a tab and make sure you can get logged in, it's just padlet.com, sign in with your Google account. The first thing you'll do is pick a template, and there are many to choose from, and they look exactly like this. So a sort of wall feature versus a grid, which is very straightforward in boxes, a canvas, a stream, which looks more like a blog feature if you were looking for something like that. The shelf has sort of columns in it. The back channel, so if you wanted to use it for discussion types of things, there's a map feature which actually goes to the real location, and there's a timeline which might be really nice for history and social studies or some other things that we'll show you a little bit later. And then you're going to pick the appearance, so you know what the background looks like and all that. This modify tab is the key one that you'll want to use. Once you click select for your template, then you'll choose modify and you'll refine it. So what she showed in the video is important, that students, the link, you can actually change what they've given you to make it nice and easy to remember. So customize it to something, either the class name or the title of the assignment that you're doing, and then you won't have to keep their little code that they gave you there. It can actually look like something that's actually, you know, describing what you're doing. And then this attribution button down at the bottom, you want to turn on if you want to see who is actually responding. And you'll want to make sure that while the students don't have to log into Padlet to be able to post, if you want to see who they are, they will have to log into Padlet. So that will be the directions that you'll give them if you want to see their names, which I assume you will. And then you get this little toolbar at the top. It's very easy to duplicate a Padlet. If you don't want to remake a whole thing and just change one or two features for another class, you can just remake it, and it's like making a copy. You can share it many ways. You can share it as a link. You can share it right to Google Classroom, and it all integrates. And then to save your Padlets before you delete to reuse another blank pad, you can save it as an image, as a PDF, or as a spreadsheet. So depending on what kind of information you want to save, it's really nice. And we'll show you how to do that as well. This cog always goes back to the modify feature, so you can always be editing it and changing it as you need to. And then those three dots are sort of give you this much longer menu of all kinds of things. If I want to remake and edit, if I want to switch screen, if I want to invite specific people, say a co-teacher or something like that, I can always modify it. And I can change the format as well, which is a really cool feature. So if I decided, oh, wait, I don't want the grid view, I want the canvas, or you write in without having to go back and remake it again, which is really nice. You can share it to Google Classroom and make that post for your students. And I'll show you what the student view looks like also. And then you making your own post or the student making a post will get this menu where they can add pretty much, they can choose a YouTube link and add a little video in there. They can choose an image from Google. They can draw something on it. They can record their voices. So that screen piece is the mini extension, which we don't have right now, but everything else is available. So I'll just kind of show you what that looks like.
What version do we have, Rachel?
We have the free right now. So
Got it.
we're going to show you what you can do with the free today. So you'll get this little menu and tell me if you can't see anything. It greets me and it says I can make a Padlet. If I wanted to join, it gave me, I can do that. I can look at their gallery, and many of these tools are offering a lot of pre-made products from other people that you could take a look at. And then if you liked them or wanted to save them, you can add them to something that you go back to in your main screen, which is cool. And this little Padlet figure over here is kind of the menu to get back. So here's one that I made. I just hit it by making a, sorry. Can you see that? That my, can everyone see this?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So this is book club book recommendations that I just made, so they have not added to it yet. But I get all my menus like this that I want, and I just picked the grid view, so there would be a lot of other boxes around here. I picked the background. I added not only a YouTube link but also a Google image, and then people can add their comments. So it's nice that it's interactive, and it can be a really nice way for kids to interact. We're thinking, especially in this time right now, as we're sort of approaching the last big push of the last few weeks of school, this might be a nice fun thing to add where you could get some engagement with the class and actually reacting to each other and responding, which is nice.
Rachel,
Yes.
Can I ask, how did you get multiple, or maybe you'll show this in a second, but on that post you have text and image, and like, how did you get multiple things on a single post? I struggled with that.
It has the feature of adding the actual, you kind of pick like one main thing to add.
Right.
But then when I was typing my text, I just copied and pasted a link under it. So I didn't use this as an add-on. I used the image as the add-on, but then I literally just copied and pasted the link as text.
Okay, that I understand. I couldn't get text and image add-on. I'll have to look at that again.
All right, let's look at that later.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, like when we're selecting and making our post, and we go in, here's our menu and everything that we're doing. And then when we start posting, we've got this plus down here. So this is what Carol was just talking about. You can upload a file, you can link, you can search Google right here and it will come up, and you can just add the images. You can add your own image.
Are we on the right page with you?
Sorry, Gwen, you're so good. Thank you. So everyone, this box here, this is the post that I would add. Uploading, link, adding from Google right over here, or adding my own. So when I wanted to do the image, I just grabbed the image of my book. And I picked sort of like a main, thing that I thought was the most important that I wanted to add. And then when I was typing in my words, I just put the YouTube link right underneath. So I didn't have to pick a link from here. It let me copy and paste the YouTube link. So I didn't need to choose it.
Got it.
Was there something else you were trying to do in addition to that?
Yeah, actually, and I don't want to derail your presentation. I can hold my questions for the end, but I was trying to put, like I have my students do a paper and a self-reflection. And I was trying to get 2 documents under one post, but I couldn't. I can see how I could get it done by cutting and pasting and adding a PDF.
All right, let's.
Anyway, I'll
as we go through, Jessie might be able to address that too at her part.
Okay.
All right. So do you want to see what the students see? Would people think that's helpful?
Yes.
Okay. So again, you are going to probably not have any anonymous posts from the kids. You'll want to see who they are. So they're going to sign up on Padlet.com for free as well, so that you'll actually be able to see who they are. So let's take a look at what that looks like.
In this video tutorial, you're going to learn how to use Padlet as a student. If your teacher has decided to use Padlet, you most likely have received a link to join Padlet. Your teacher might have sent a link through an email or posted link on a Google Classroom, like in this example. To access Padlet as a student, all you need to do is click on the link that your teacher has provided you with. A link will take you to a Padlet platform. And this is what a Padlet looks like. It's a wall with several posts and questions that your teacher wants you to answer and engage with. A post normally consists of a title, description, and sometimes a teacher may decide to post some complementary media. In this case, there are 2 posts that include video clips, and your teacher instructs you to first watch the clip and then comment on it. To comment on the post, read the instructions carefully, and once you're ready to respond, click on the speech bubble in the bottom right corner. Type up your comment and click on the arrow sign. Once you've posted your comment, it will be viewable by your classmates and your teacher. You might have noticed that your name hasn't been registered and your comment has no author. It is anonymous. For your teacher to be able to see the author of the comment, it's important to have an account with Padlet. If you have an account, click log. If you don't have an account, click sign up and go through different means of creating an account. When you create your account with Padlet, make sure you select the basic plan. Once I have Padlet account and I comment on one of the posts, now my comment is no longer anonymous, but my name appears at the top. This is the dummy name of the account I'm using for this tutorial. Your teacher has also asked you to reply to one of your classmates. This post has one reply from one of my classmates. MS4, iPad4 is another dummy account I'm using for the purpose of this demonstration. To reply to one of my classmates, simply mention your classmate. Now we have one response to one of our classmates. This is how you comment on posts and reply to your classmates' posts. If one of your assignments is to create posts, click on this plus or pencil button and start creating your own post. First thing you want to do is create a title for your post. The second field is the body of your post. You can upload files from your computer, which will be embedded in your post, much like your teacher has embedded video clips in post. You can also link a resource from the internet, use Google search to find videos or images. If your computer has a webcam, you can also use it to embed media into your post, or you can use other features to create media for your post. Once your post is finalized and published, it is now visible to your classmates and your teacher, and they can also comment on your post. If your teacher enables a feature of rating, you can also rate each post. To rate a post, click on rating and then assign a corresponding rating. It's important to remember that if your teacher has used Google Classroom assignment for your Padlet assignment, it's important to let your teacher know that you are finished. To do that, go to your classwork, click on the Padlet assignment, click on View Assignment, and once you've finished your post and all the instructions of your teacher, mark your assignment as done. When you do that, your teacher will know that you've participated in the discussion board and now your participation can be graded. So let's sum up what we've learned today. First, we've looked at how to join Padlet by following the link that your teacher has provided you with. We've looked at how to comment on posts and how to reply to your classmates. Finally, we've looked at how to create your own posts if your teacher asks you to do so. Thank you for your time. I hope it was helpful, and I'll see you next time.
So we've looked at our sort of back end, and then we've looked at what the students will see on the front end. So always going to this, for the big one for us is this modify piece. That's where you put in the title, you describe the assignment to the students, you next to it if you like. You can change that address again to make it something that fits our title a little bit better. We can make our background wallpaper, change our colors, our font, and then this attribution is the one that we want to make sure to turn on so that we will see the students. You can also decide whether the first person who posted is what appears first, and then underneath everybody else in order of their posting. So Jessie will talk about that for a good feature of kind of who did it first. So if people are borrowing from each other, that person at the top gets credit as the first person who completed it. You can also turn on comments if you want this to be an interactive discussion for each other, but you don't have to. If you think the students might be a little awkward about it first, you can leave them off and just start with this as your responses. And then that little reaction they were talking about, whereas on you could vote or rate or like things depending on what you're asking them to do. And then this has filter profanity, which I guess is a great feature that we can turn on. Okay. And then we discussed on the sharing options. So that's sort of our whole menu of how to get this the way that we want. And then beyond that, it goes to just how you'd like to share it. You probably definitely want to keep the privacy settings secret right now. And then decide how you want to share it with the actual students. But again, like a lot of these tools, sharing right to Google Classroom is really nice because we can just pick our class and make our post. whether we want to create the assignment, question, the announcement, or create the material. All right. There are a lot of ways you can use Padlet in the classroom. Can you all see the screen? 16 ways to use Padlet.
No, I think you're not presenting anymore, Rachel.
Okay, it turned off. All right.
Okay. Are you still presenting? Yeah, I don't think you're presenting anymore.
Thank you.
You're muted, Rachel.
I think Rachel accidentally got offline.
She's back, but she's muted.
Oh, okay.
You're still muted,
Yeah,
Rachel.
you're
We can
muted,
see you
yeah.
talking, but you're muted.
It kicked me out and I had to rejoin. I'm so sorry. Okay, thank you.
Oops.
All right. Now you can hear me and you can see.
Yep.
So the 16 ways to use Padlet in the classroom, really great ideas here. And we'll share the presentation with you so that you can have this to refer to. Carol had been asking about student portfolios is number 12 on here. Exit tickets, brainstorming, making your own graphic organizer and change is really cool. Peer assessing. And so that example from the video, the teacher can make as many posts within the Padlet as they want. So I could just make it as limited as assigning the title, putting the description of what I want them to do, and then having them do all the posts. Or like the second video on the student side that we saw, you could have several directions in posts that you created for them that you simply want them to respond to in terms of those little quick video clips that the teacher had posted, which is also really nice.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Is it a way for you to hide if you want students to post a reaction to whatever, and you don't want everybody and you don't want them to see what everybody is writing? You want to just post them all together at one time so that they don't get ideas from other people and they can. Is that possible?
Yes.
Jessie, you've done that, right, in your class?
Yes, actually, I just answered a question from Carol. You can actually do the, what do you call it, the approval thing.
Mhm.
So that when students...
Oh, that's how you do it?
Yeah, so when students...
So the approval would hide them.
Yeah, so if you don't approve their post to kind of like get onto the page, then their post wouldn't show. So therefore, you can ask them, like you can turn on that button to, like their post needs your approval. So therefore, you can kind of like, get all the posts to you first, and you will review them, and then you will click approve one by one to decide, whose work goes to
Jessie,
on the website.
I'm gonna switch to you, Jessie, now if you want to present, and then you can show them that piece.
Okay. Yes. Thanks.
Thank you.
Maria, did that answer your question?
Right, but what I want to, so you need, in order for it, just click on that and it'll show everything. I mean, if you trust your kids and you don't need to approve, can you just unclick that and they will all post together? Or do you actually, the only way to do it is to approve one by one?
You have to approve one by one. Yeah,
Right.
so there's no the domain of the Padlet page. So therefore, all of your posts going to get to me first, and I will say, okay, I think Maria's, makes sense. I will post to Maria's. I'm going to approve yours. Then your post will show it on the pad, and then everybody else can review it. So, but if you want, you trust them, but you just want them to show all together. I don't think there is a way, but you can, click it one by one and then let it just show one by one. But I don't think it's going to be too slow. Let's say if your class is not like, a lot of participants.
No, right. I was thinking, all right. Okay. Thank you.
Right. No, I am just going to, after Rachel told us about some basic, functions that Padlet can do. So now I am going to just quickly mention something I I did with Padlet in my classroom. So after I learned this from Monica, I really literally use it every day. So I use it in for different, class activities with the kids, and sometimes I assign their homework to do it on Padlet. So I think it's quite a interesting and interactive tool for me to use in and outside of my office hour. So I just want to share some examples I did with the kids. So when you want to use the wall, the grid, or the stream format, then it is really good for short answer questions. So for me, I keep my attendance in a way that I ask them every day. Every time I will have attendance question for them to do. So therefore, for each of my period, so every day before some question, I can show you the pad as well. So here, the attendance question. Yeah, so here, for example, this is my period 2, but it's not the same one. So basically, I named the Padlet title as this. This is my period 2 attendance question. And then this is the question I'm asking them to answer. So therefore, they're going to, add a post to answer this question. And this is my warm-up activities. But if you want to do some class discussions, then you can also, use the description part as the topic you want them to discuss about, and then they can post the certain things to say about their understanding of the topic you want them to do. So for me, I to do the reactions as like, but you can do all different reactions based on the purpose of your activity. So I like to make them to like it for my attendance question. So I always ask them to post one post to answer my question, and then they always need to find a peers post to like it and then leave a comment on it. So my period 2 last time I really like Padlet. So this is it, and this is the Mother's Day work as an image, because the when you save it as an image, the structure still keep as the same as you can see on the screen. So it's not for free version. So this is the
interrupt. Just a question.
Yep.
What the 2 that we're looking at right now, is that a wall or a grid? I'm just not.
This is the wall. This is the wall. The grid and wall are very, very similar. So for grid, so you can just see that, for wall, like the post can be short, can be long, depend on their answers and their comments, right? So for the grid, it's very, very similar. It's just that it's like keeping, for example, the 4 posts on one row, and then all the lower down, the 4 posts, like here, it just goes like under. So there will be some space. For example, this one is very short, right? So the pink one is going to go right under the bottom line of the longest one on the first row. So it's just more, I would say more, more organized layers like that. So for wall, it's just like, like short ones, and right goes under, can be a long one, then can be a short one. There's just no space in between them. Did I make myself understand?
Do they come in the order that they're submitted always?
Yeah, so like here, so you can choose to, like where's the new post position goes. So, if they post it later on, they're just going to go under. So they will, like before, right on the top line, and then if they have new post, they just go under, and then layer 4, and then goes under like that.
Okay.
Yep. So this is the wall of the that I like to use in class. And then so I use Canvas for some comparisons, or use for different you can use for comparisons, or you can use different background organizers for some specific topic discussions later on. So therefore I downloaded this image. Okay, so when I do comparisons, I will just use this background image. You can change the background image here. So you can, choose the wallpaper, and you can upload one at your own. So for me, you can upload, and then you can upload the one like you like. You can pick a file if it's, from your computer. So you can just edit that file as well. So for me, I like to use like an organizer comparison work. So for this one, I'm asking them to tell me that, learning Chinese, which part is the easiest one and why, which part is the hardest one for you and why. So, here they are going to post 2 posts, right? So you're going to post one to explain the easiest one for them and explains why, and then the other post is going to explain to me what is the hardest part for learning Chinese is and what is the reason why. So in this case, you can compare. You can ask them to compare things, or if you, for example, have like a typing debate, with them. So one group of people, you can say, for example, like the earlier learning, get exposed to a different language, the earlier is the better, or the other one saying, maybe you should be older so you can understand things better, so that you can foreign language is better. So you can ask them to debate, and like you can use those type of organizer as well. Monica asked, actually, I don't know, Rachel, did you include the organizer link here for the teachers to download? Monica,
I think it's on the last page.
Download.
I can't remember.
But later on, I can share all the organizers with all the teachers in maybe a folder or something to share with you guys, so that there's a lot of organizers. I can quickly show you at here.
We have it at the end on slide 17. We have a whole list of resources. That's one of them.
So you can see, there's like a facts or opinions organizer. This is what I edited in Chinese, what I know, what I want to know. All those organizers you can use as your background image to use the Canvas feature to do like a class discussion in this way. So it's very convenient to do it as well. So this is another activity I did. So for the shelf feature, I'd like to use it to practice for different patterns or like different topic discussions. So I assigned my kids a work that I want them to practice 5 grammar patterns that we learned in our class. So I did a meme challenge for them and assign it as a homework. So basically, I can actually show you because they're still doing this work. So a little slow. Apologize for that. So you can see the meme challenge I led them to do. I have the title here, and then I have my explanations here. So they need to log into their Padlet account, make 1 post on each column, and find appropriate meme for each post, and write a sentence using the pattern, which the pattern I added here as my column title. So each sentence needs to be 10 characters long. So they cannot translate the meme, all those very specific explanations for them how to do this. So basically, this is the shelf version you can see. So you can add columns. You can add, like a lot of columns as much as you want to. So for me, I want them to practice 5. So this is the 5 patterns I want them to practice. So you can see all the students post about this pattern. It's all, in here. So you can see they find a meme, they write a sentence with the pattern, and then they have their name on it. So I can review their work and see, like if it's meet all the requirements I have on the top. So each column you can go down, you can go down and see all the students' work who did it. So this is the shelf version I really liked because it just makes things super organized. And you can let them to practice different things all at once.
Can you repeat, Jessie, can you repeat what this is called, this feature?
This feature is called shelf. Just go through all their answers and see if they matches the requirements there.
And Jessie, I remember, I don't know if you were going to say this, but I really liked that you said shelf could be used for each period too of your, if you wanted to design it like that.
Yes. So like, since we only can have 3 free pads, but like full-time teachers, we really have 5 periods to teach. Or if you teach more than 3 periods, then that will be like a little bit difficult for only using the 3 free pads for each period. So for me, I think, for example, if you want them to practice the same thing, then on the description part, just put your requirements here, and then you can name each shelf as your period name. For example, this part is period 1, period 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you can only, ask the students, if you're in period 1, then you only post on the period 1 section. In period 3, you only post on the period 3 section. So therefore, you can use this shelf to kind of like make up the reality that you cannot have more free pass with the free membership version. So that's one of the actually what you can do to play around with it. Does it? All right, so all right, so this is the shelf I like to use, and also, some other things you can do with it. So for this one, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention this one. So for the Canvas one, so for grading purpose, I suggest you to save as a PDF or Excel or a Excel spreadsheet. The reason for this is that when this one, if you save as an image, so the image is going to be narrower than what your screen looks like. So even though on the screen it looks like this, super organized. You can, drag the post to make it organized. But once you save as an image, for some reason, the image is going to only get very narrow. So therefore, all the posts kind of like really like in a messed up format. So it's really hard for you to see, okay, which is the section, for example, for the easiest thing in learning Chinese and which part is the hardest thing learning Chinese of what they said. So therefore, I suggest you to save as a PDF or Excel spreadsheet. It's very organized if you do that way. So it just kind of like automatically goes the person's name and then what they write, the person's name and what they write. So it's easier for you to grade in that case. For Excel, it's like automatically put names on one column and then all the contents they wrote on one column. So it's even more organized in that way for you to grade. So that's only for grading purpose. If you want to do that, you can use PDF or Excel spreadsheet. And for the shelf, also the same. I suggest you, if you want to grade, easier grading, then save as Excel spreadsheet. It's super organized. Again, like one name in all the names in one column, all the things they wrote on one column, and all the URL link they used for their image goes on one column. So it's super easy to see and super easy to grade in that way. So this is the shelf version I like to use. To tell me their favorite restaurant in West Hartford and tell me some questions, for example, like who do you often go to this restaurant with? How much money do you usually spend on there? And what is your favorite dish you always like to order in that restaurant? So when you change it to the map version, it's going to look basically really like a map. So what you can do, what they can do. So when they post, they will click on the plus sign. They will search a place by name. So I give them a very specific ways how to do it, step by step, how to do this attendance question on their Google Classroom. So number one, I ask them to search a restaurant they really liked in West Hartford. Put on here, for example, if I really like the Shu restaurant, which is in West Hartford. So once they put on name, so you can see automatically you will give you the name, give you the address. Once you click on here, and then they will automatically start a post here for you. So then I'm asking them to answer my questions on the write something section. And then they will need to upload my students' work. This person likes Lamby Burger Place, answer me questions and attach a picture here. So, you can see, in this way, they can see kind of like a Yelp. I told them kind of like a Yelp recommendation thing. So they also need to find a peer's work to comment on and give a rate based on their dining experience in the same restaurant. So therefore they can rate, they can comment on it, and you can see there's 2 comments and saying like, I like it too, or I don't like it, something like that. So it's also for them to interact with each other. So this is the map thing I can do with them. And then by the end, I also tried the timeline. So this is a work I signed a tutoring student I have not in my class really. So at that time we're working on daily routine topics. So therefore I asked her to create a pad and then tell me to like basically what her whole day is. So she added all of those message sending, chatting feature. So if you want to have a typing debate or, I don't know, like trying to, let them to pretend to be 2 different characters and have like a live conversation about a certain topic, then that would be cool to use as well. And also for grading purpose, save it as a PDF to show pictures or an Excel spreadsheet to only grade on content for those 2 as well. So these are the activities I often use in my class to do on Padlet. Again, I just think it's super interactive with the kids. They can vote. they can vote each other. They can like each other's posts, kind of like on Instagram. They can rate rate by stars, kind of like writing on Yelp. So they're just also thinking super cool to see each other's posts and then interact with each other in that way. And sometimes they also correct each other, so that's also peer correcting. Here for them to practice to do. So there's some frequently asked questions I attached in our presentation. So the first two, it's Rachel already mentioned it. So for this part, I really want to mention to all the teachers here. So I made a very, very silly mistake that I thought that if I pay for 1 month, and then I can, create more pads over 3, so and then I can switch it back to keep those posts, to keep those pads. But apparently I can't. So therefore, I'm kind of like stuck with the paid version forever. That's why we can see I have so many pads over there. So therefore, if you don't want to pay for it, don't pay for it. Just use the 3 free pads with the free membership, and just play around with it. Because once you paid for it, and if you want to, cancel your subscription, then they will ask you to delete all the extra pads. Only ask you to keep 3 if you want to switch back to the free version. So therefore, if you don't want to pay for it, if you really don't want to pay for it forever, let's say, then do not pay for it. You're not going to keep all those pads you create. And then, some questions about like if I teach more than 3 classes periods, what we can do with the free membership. Then I suggest you to use the shelf, or you can, if you, for example, if you have less than 3 PAPs, then you can use each prep, so that for after you finish this period, you can quickly save the student work and then clear all the posts, which is also super easy. So for me, if I decided to clear all those posts, you just need to click on the 3 dots, and then you can see clear all the posts. Once I click on here, ask me if I really want to do it, and once you set confirm, then all the posts are going to be gone. So therefore, you can quickly save their work and clear all the posts, and then ready to use for the next homework, because you don't want to pick which post is from my period 5 students and which post is from my period 3 students. It's going to be a lot of work for you to do if you don't use the shelf to organize. And then by the end, how do I prevent students copying from each other's work? So I said, you can choose use to the wall or grid or stream or shelf at the end. I'm sorry, which one? So here, for the 4th one, the graphic organizer, you can download for Padlet. This is the link that you can direct you to download all the organizer I just showed you in the folder. So you can use that to edit as a background to do some specific class discussions. And then Rachel, do you want to start with this part then?
What was cool is if you want to, we talked about how we're doing all these trainings and they're archiving them, but if you want to click on that WHPS Anytime Learning live link, Jessie, would you mind clicking on that?
Yes.
Thanks. I just thought it was cool that the archive of the training was actually an embedded Padlet. So they could, if you scroll down, beyond that part, a little bit farther down.
Okay.
Yeah, right there.
That is a little slow. Come on. Oh, here.
Yeah.
This is what you're
So,
I'm sorry.
Dave St. Germain at KP put this up, and he actually embedded a Padlet showing you all of our trainings and how you could use them. So if you want to engage students for engagement, these are the tools you would use in the first column. To explore something, you would use those tools, and so on and so on. So I just thought that was cool that it's seeing how he used a Padlet, but also is it still counted as one of the 3?
It does not count as the 3, but you cannot do anything with it anymore. So if you want to kind of reuse it, you have to delete one of the pads in order to redo it with the kids. Yeah. Any other questions from our participants today?
But would it be another option instead of saving it as a PDF?
Yeah, but as a PDF. So for
No, I mean that archiving it instead of saving it as a PDF. Would that be the same? Because I could, why do I save it as a PDF? The reason why I save it as a PDF would be first to grade the answers the kids did, but also if I want to create the same Padlet later on, I have it in the PDF to copy it, right? So I don't have to think about it. If I archive it, can I archive it instead? If I don't need to grade it, if I just want to keep it for reference to create a new one from that, can I archive it?
Yeah, you can archive it, but once you archive it and you're basically kind of like put it on how to say, like put it on mute, let's say, then once you want to reactivate it, you still have to delete one pad, or it wouldn't let you to do anything. It wouldn't even let you to open it up if you don't delete one pad, you know, in order to activate that one, if you only use the free membership ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And how many can you access if you pay the membership? How many can you make?
Unlimited. Yeah, once you pay for the membership, you can create as much as the pads you want to.
And you don't know if the district is going, like, has any plans to incorporate this, or you've talked about this with departmenters or not?
We are going to recommend, but we don't know yet if they'll end up paying for it. What we are very much hoping to do is survey everyone at the end of this year and see what people have been using or want to use, and get the teacher voice in there for advocating for it.
Okay, great.
Okay.
How do you compare this to Nearpad?
So I also use before Padlet, I also use the Nearpod. They have like I think like a Post-it or Collaborate. Yeah, Collaborate, right? So this is only the wall feature that Padlets have. So at the beginning, I find it's very good to use, but after I know Padlets, I just think there's so many cool like features, like the backgrounds you can play with. So, just make the class less boring for kids always just, seeing that one page all the time. So that's why I like Padlet more than Nearpod on that. Sure, but Nearpod have a lot of cool, functions that Padlets cannot do. So I also use Nearpod for other different things.
All right. Thank you very much.
Anything else?
Yeah, I have two questions.
Yeah, Carol.
This is Carol. Any thoughts or advice on the privacy settings? Do you do anything special or recommend anything there? If you're going to be on the privacy settings? Yeah. If I wanted to share this student work with a parent, do I need to do anything in particular for privacy settings?
Okay. Then you can add here on the setting part, then you can just turn off the attribution. So once you turn off the attribution, working. Let's see that. If you turn off the attribution, then you can see that. So for here, like I asked them to put their name on their title. That's why you can see their name. It's still there. But if you don't ask them to put their names on the title part, then you shouldn't be able to see their names anymore. You can just see the post, but without their names. So if they sign in with their Padlet account, if you turn on the attribution, then you can see all their names are there. See, so my name is showed up, but once you turn off the attribution, then the my name at the very beginning is gone. So for me, I'm afraid that if they forgot to sign in, then therefore I wouldn't know who posted this and I cannot grade them. So I always ask them, like on the title part, you need to also put your name there so I know who did that, so give you credits on that. So, but you don't have to do it if you don't want to.
Okay.
Yep.
And okay. Thank
you.
No
problem.
And Carol, you mean like the seek?
Yeah. Maybe you can let them to create their own pad, and then how to say, like, put their portfolio on their own pad, and then you can ask them to turn off the attribution and then share the link with the parents so that they can review. But yeah, I know that's probably a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot more steps than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, it just seems like a lot of steps.
Well,
or it goes to this shelf, and then turn off the attribution and then share it with parents in that way.
Yeah, I think what Carol, it's easy to share the link with the parent no matter what. Like you don't need to worry about the privacy setting to share the link. I think the issue is maybe if everybody's on one pad, you just don't want to see the names, that you don't want to have the parents see the other names. So that would be turning the attribution off, but still sharing the link and keeping the actual pad secret or private so that the public can't see it, just the parent sees it through the link. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess it does. And then I guess what I'm hearing you say, unless I'm misunderstanding, is if I want a kid to have their own individual portfolio shared with their own individual parent, then I'm going to have kids make their own accounts, create their own Padlet for that.
Yeah.
It's been super helpful. I appreciate your time.
No problem.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. It
Yeah,
was very
please,
helpful.
if you have any questions, just always feel free to email.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I'll stop
Rachel,
recording. Hold on one second. I'm going to stop recording. Yep.